Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the EGF Power Series. We are closing out this week's group stage, and in fact, all of the group stages tonight. And we have a ton of fantastic matches for you tonight. Bringing all the action at you, it's going to be me. I am Dor, and I am joined by Hans. Hans, how are you doing tonight?
Today's been absolutely fantastic. Started a little rough, got a little bit of a rough sleep last night, but we're excited to start some beautiful matches of Rocket League today. Like you mentioned, we're starting off with UNC versus Western Kentucky University here. So pretty exciting match for the two of them. They are in the bottom of their group, so they're potentially trying to go for a win here today on the side of both teams, honestly, in order for them to potentially secure a spot.
Yeah, both of them looking to try and move up as best they can, but getting to that Tennessee Tech level, reaching those 3 wins is a thing of absolute difficulty. And as we already head into our first game here, we're going to start off with UNC starting on the left, Western Kentucky on the right side. Don't get them confused. The University of Kentucky will be playing later on tonight, but this is a battle of wits. This is one for pride between the two bottom-seeded teams.
Oh yeah, for sure. And in this head-to-head matchup, since it's double round robin, we've seen these two teams come at it before. Western Kentucky did take the last series 3-1, so expecting solid play out from here. But UNC has been coming back strong and swinging, playing a little defensively, unfortunately. But just getting the ball past Etch Tree there, Chiggy going for the score.
1-0, a good start here for Western Kentucky, and honestly, I'm liking the team play I've seen from them so far. The rotations have been on point. The passes have been relatively basic, but they don't need anything else to score on this UNC side, at least so far. When we see them start to adapt, though, when we see them start to turn up the pace, that's when I want to see a better side of UNC.
Yeah, for sure. And from what I remember from watching these games previously, Etch Tree is definitely one of the higher performers here on the side of UNC. And he's definitely been trying to show it here, being a little bit of everywhere. Duck going to be able to cover that ball on the defense and try to push this upfield here. Unfortunately, passing it straight to Chiggy.
Yeah, UNC really struggling to build this ball out of their half. They're booting it, but they're not looking for passes or dribbles. That means Western Kentucky is going to continuously win these balls in the midfield. It's something we see happen very, very often when a team is struggling to play any sort of attack. They need to slow it down when they're building their way out. Make sure their players are getting boosts. Look for those passes. Otherwise, every single time you clear it, there's going to be a Western Kentucky player on the other end of it.
Yeah, and it's a great setup for the shot there. But Etch Tree going for a shot. Unfortunately, Gigawatt is already there, ready to intercept. And Gigawatt, gonna bring it right back. What, such fast back-to-back goals here.
I mean, the counterattacks are something to look out for from Western Kentucky because they're on another level mechanically right now. They can look to take advantage of that in plays like that, where UNC can't really challenge as quickly. And that kind of takes a little bit of confidence into play as well. UNC, you're already down 3-0. You're going to be questioning your decision-making. And that matters a lot when it comes down to the split-second decisions in the midfield when you want to decide, do I want to be challenging this ball or not?
Yeah, for sure. And definitely seems that, on the side of UNC, they're a little more timid in the air compared to Western Kentucky, right? And going for those air challenges can a lot of the times mean, make or break, especially for those air 50-50s. Duck going to be able to get some taps here or there on there, but it doesn't seem like they have full control of the ball and where it's going to go after they touch it in the air.
Yeah, I want to see more pressure applied into the Western Kentucky half, right? They're starting to get it out there now. They're starting to see a little bit more ball possession, but making something of it, improving that pressure over time and increasing it is going to be something it's going to be the thing that really nets them goals against Western Kentucky.
Yeah, for sure. Etch Tree now going to try to go for a play here on his own, but right off the backboard, straight to Dragon. But, it looks like Western Kentucky has just been all over these players of UNC, just being able to play super aggressive, play the style of game that they've wanted to so far. And, a lot of the times, if the game is in your tempo, it's just going to feel really good for yourself. But the good thing for UNC, this game has slowed down quite a bit. Ooh. I say that just as Chiggy scores.
That was a nice shot, though. Well placed down towards the bottom corner, straight past 3 goalkeepers here. Dragon tries to make his way back. Etch Tree can't reach it. In a solid shot there. Going at a relative pace. UNC, again, their rotations are really falling apart on the defense for the same reason that I want to see them apply more pressure on the attack here. It's because Western Kentucky are rotating well, taking away UNC's boosts, and then beating them on shots that they don't even have boosts to defend.
Yeah, and it looks like as soon as Western Kentucky gets warm, they get hot. These back-to-back goals are, a very big thing for them. And Gigawatt showing that he's one of the best performers on his team. He's scored almost every goal so far.
Man, that's some impressive stuff from him. We are yet to see too much out of the other players here at Western Kentucky, but if you can beat this UNC with just 1 or 2 players, I can't help but imagine what's going to happen if UNC starts to challenge them and Western Kentucky are forced to start bringing Chiggy out of the back line.
Yeah, for sure. And oh my god, does he even play much of backline, honestly? Like once they get to the opponent's side of the field, they kind of basically triple commit to this offense, and you know they really don't even need to bring like they may play one player a little further back, but it doesn't seem like they need to play too much defensively. Chiggy going to be able to get a lot of these contests off, but every time it goes back and forth, it seems like Western Kentucky just has more control of it overall.
I mean, it's that old, the best defense is a good offense here in Western Kentucky, proving that one very true. The 6th goal on the board with just 2 minutes left. We could see double digits here, David.
Yeah, I mean, Chiggy and his teammates here just making it look so easy compared. And honestly, at this point, you know, 2 minutes left, it's definitely tough, but it's able to become, you're able to make this comeback, right? 2 minutes is still a long way to go, but Western Kentucky is not making it easy for sure.
Absolutely not. I'd love to see UNC actually get a goal on the board here. Oh my goodness, that shot is ringing off both of the posts here. Goal looking more like a tuning fork, but nonetheless rings true. Ball bounces out, and UNC gets to see another day, or at least another couple seconds here up against Western Kentucky. A good challenge by Edgetree. He's gonna net him across. A shot on the target. Oh, but Chiggy takes away his hopes and dreams of glory.
Yeah, and God, their offensive rotation seems so good, but when they come back on the defense, it makes it look like defensive play is nothing. You know, a great, you know, you talk about the great defense is just a super good offense, right? Their good defense is just a good defense in general, and now they've already ran another minute off of this clock. 1 minute left for University of North Carolina here to score 6 goals, and that's seeming a little nigh impossible.
It's starting to look more like 55 seconds for Western Kentucky to score as many goals as possible. 6 already in the bag here. UNC, you're right. You mentioned it earlier, how they've kind of slowed down this bleeding, but they now need to look, right? We talk about it kind of in stages whenever we see matches like this that are a little bit stompy for one side, right? You build out, so you start stopping the bleeding, right? Less goals over less time, and then you look towards the midfield. You apply pressure there, and then they stop getting as many shots off because you're shutting down the plays early. And then from there, you can look to take shots. And that's what we need to look for UNC to do in this next game, is now that they've slowed down the bleeding, now that they have less shots taken at them, let's see them apply that pressure in the midfield and start to get a little aggressive.
Yeah, now Duck trying to make that aggression happen. Dragon, oh! Great shot on goal there, great setup, but unfortunately a little too late. Now the last 2 seconds on the clock, and Western Kentucky looking to just make this ball touch the ground. UNC gonna try to make it not, but it means that Western Kentucky's gonna take this first game 6-0.
That hurt, man. They wanted that last goal. What the heck?
Yeah, that was
Time
close.
to rob them of it. That's no fair.
Yeah, for sure. But to be quite honest, seeing a goal like that towards the end, you know, a great setup, a great play overall, just means that at least it feels like UNC is in the right mentality going into this next game, right? We talk a lot about mental mentality going between game to game, especially on losses, right? And for a 6-0 game, being able to make a play like that happen towards the end is extremely impressive to me.
I'll tell you what's really concerning for me, though, with this UNC side is for a 6-0 game, they had 1 save, which is really scary because when Western Kentucky is actually hitting their shots on target, that's when they're scoring. And when they're not scoring is when Western Kentucky's making mistakes, not when North Carolina is forcing them. So as much as they may have stopped the bleeding, I do need to see a little bit more promise on these early challenges to stop those shots from coming out entirely.
Yeah, definitely would have to agree with you there. It's just tough for them to make these challenges overall. And you said earlier about, you know, UNC's defensive rotations, you know, do you also want to agree that they do need to clean that up a little bit? You know, sometimes it feels like the communication's a little off. They're not sure who's in goal, who's closer. And just like that, you know, Dragon not back fast in time to make this defensive rotation happen. And Gigawatt, just his power with him and Chiggy together, we've just seen it all day, and setting up this play quite easily, knowing that there are no players to defend that goal.
Well, we're starting off at pretty much the same pace that we got to last time, David. You know what? We've all been in this situation before. It's not a fun game, you know, but mentally, what do you think these players can really do to reset, right? You're already in the game. You're already getting scored on. How do you really separate that from the actual pressure of being played.
Well, definitely in terms of mental reset, right? You know, take time, talk to your team. You know, you have a little bit of time between games. Just be like, hey, you know, we still made a fantastic play towards the end of the game. Last game, they're still able to come back. Hey, you guys went 3-1 last time, so you guys were still able to at least make it somewhat of a series, right? So UNC definitely, I wouldn't say is out of it, but if this mindset does kind of chip away at them, if they start, you know, double committing to these saves and these defense like just there, it may be looking a little more and more rough if the, Western Kentucky is able to play around that.
I mean, so far, Western Kentucky definitely in the driver's seat. Good challenge there by Chiggy, as well as Quithrow. Western Kentucky just making it awkward here, floating the ball constantly in front of UNC territory. You know, this is it's not easy to watch, right? Because we talk a lot about how a single fix can kind of change the course of the game and take double-digit games and turn them into games that are actually winnable. It's kind of the same thing here for North Carolina. Again, I still think midfield pressure is the key to actually beating out this Western Kentucky side right now. It's where all their plays have started. It's where all this passing started. You see Quattro to midfield. Chiggy is always there, but being the defending team, you should be able to win balls like that.
Yeah, and honestly, what breaks my heart the most is that Tree almost made a play out of that, right? He almost scored on an empty net, but just shot it a little bit above the goal, and that passed it right to Chiggy and Gigawatt to make that play happen, which is just quite unfortunate for him. Had that ball just been a little lower, the score would have been 1-2 for UNC, and, you know, finally putting UNC on the board.
I mean, just shoot the ball, Forehead. Just hit the goal, Forehead.
Yeah.
Simple plans, but I feel like simple plans are what North Carolina need right now. You know, your mental game's a little bit rough. You need some fairly straightforward stuff that you can stick to that can be your mantra throughout a game like this. Etchery coming in on a counterattack, saved by Quithrow here. It's good though, so much better than what we saw initially from UNC. Right now they're actually getting shots up, they're building out of their own half. They fixed a lot of those errors, but there's still a good ways to go before they're even with this Kentucky side.
Yeah, and I think for sure, you know, especially while looking at Dragon's play, it feels like he's a little on edge. You know, sometimes I see him overshoot, sometimes I see him undershoot the ball, you know, quite a lot, and, you know, that can definitely get to you over time. So it looks like Estri is going to try to make the most of the rest of his team, and it looks like he's going to try to set up a corner play for himself. Getting a demo on Quithrow means that this net looks a little bit empty.
No.
Chiggy's trying to set it up, but there's no center player for UNC.
UNC, man, right when the pressure got to them. 3 members forward, all he needed was one shot. They were flopping around like dead fish in front of the goal. And I've seen great mechanics out of them, but that was one that you just feel that the nerves got to them and they started to choke a little bit.
Yeah, it's just all about those rotations, all about the macro play of like knowing where the rest of your team is on that map, right? You know, as she was going to do that corner setup and had expected one of his teammates to be near center, but it was just off, unfortunately. Duck trying to get the ball out of his team's side of the court, but hitting that corner edge, unfortunately, bounces it right back.
UNC, they can save this ball. It's a little tricky. Good touch there by Duck. That's what we want to see from them. We talked about the saves not quite being there in between these matches, but showing more promise. And look at the score, so much less by the same point that it was last time. They're definitely looking a lot better. The question is how much. We're seeing Dragon start to build out of the back. Has a cross Chiggy there for the intercept. Now going to go for the air dribble. Good challenge now at midfield. UNC, they're starting to build something out of this, David. I'm seeing a lot of promise.
Yeah, definitely starting to shake off those nerves, especially, I think, what we see the most out of UNC is that once this game does slow down, right, for a minute, 2 minutes, you know, now starting to go to almost 3 minutes, their plays are coming out more, they're developing. It seems like they're at least communicating a little bit more, right? And that's definitely a great result of the game slowing down. But 2 backboard hits for the side of Western Kentucky, and now Duck looking to try to set up a play off of the corner here.
Oh, but he doesn't challenge it up the wall. Nice, Tree stuck on the defense. Has to play the ball out wide, and that's a really, really great touch. That's something that a lot of teams forget to do. Playing that ball out wide to your teammates as opposed to just booting it back out into the center field is super duper key, and I like to see that from teams like North Carolina. It's showing solid fundamentals here. It's just cleaning up a little bit more of that macro play like you mentioned. Tree hasn't had himself a good 1v1 in midfield. Dragon challenges, and now this ball's kind of stuck in no man's land. Awkward challenges everywhere. Finally a 50-51 over by North Carolina. Chiggy goes up, but he did not need to do that. He leaves his goal open. The shot from Tree is going to go in, the first of the night for UNC.
Yeah, great setup there for UNC, and crazy, honestly, at one point or a little earlier, we saw 5 balls hit the side of the UNC backboard, which is a little wild, just going a little bit high, but UNC they are able to take that and turn it around, knowing that Western Kentucky has just been a little bit misplaying towards the end of this set. But, 30 seconds left to score 2 goals. It's definitely possible.
Definitely is here. Edgetree looks for a cross, duck for it. Jiggy though, oh, the 50-50 out the half. This could be heartbreaking if he makes it in. Doesn't manage to though. Quintero up for a challenge. Now this ball is going to belong to UNC for just a little bit. They need to stop this attack from Gigawatt. One man against the entire UNC roster right now. He's doing fabulously. Ball drops down in front of Quintero. 5 seconds left. Those 2 goals seem very unlikely here. Now make it 3. Western Kentucky are going to look to take this game to 4-1.
Yeah, and that, with 2 seconds left on the clock, that's definitely quite literally impossible to score 3 goals to tie this in overtime. Western Kentucky, as you mentioned, going to take that game, but great setups for each other. And I think that, Western Kentucky is making it seem like that 3-1 was just a fluke. That one game that UNC took in their first head-to-head was just something a little, maybe some misplays early on. Western Kentucky showing that they're coming swinging today, and they even want to try to contest for that 2nd spot in the group.
I think they're in a great position to do so as well. They do have one more match later. Try and find out who that's against real quick. It's going to be up against Tennessee Tech. So actually, if they want to take Tennessee Tech's spot, right, they need Tennessee Tech to lose a match today, which is either going to be up against University of Kentucky coming up next, or lose their match against them in Western Kentucky versus Tennessee Tech. And that's how they vie for that spot. But they need that victory later. That is the number one thing we're going to be looking at. That is the number one most important thing in this group, right? The first seeds are pretty much guaranteed to be locked up. It is all a fight for second at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a rough comeback for Western Kentucky, but they're definitely looking like they're coming out swinging for today. And I think that because Western Kentucky's at 1 and Tennessee Tech's at 3, Tennessee actually has to lose both games today in order for Western Kentucky to even come to that potential tie. So a little bit different, but hopefully Western Kentucky, as long as they win that game against Tennessee Tech, that that's all the power that they need to continue on for the rest of the day.
Yeah, you just do what you can here if you're Western Kentucky. And as much as we want to talk about UNC's hopes, they don't really have any playoff ones considering their standings. They're playing this one 100% for pride. Western Kentucky, though, they're playing for later in the night. And you know what? It's a long night ahead of them, honestly. It's difficult to play Rocket League with this much pressure on you for that long. And the way they've been going on in this game is a little bit concerning because I see a lot of individual prowess. I'm seeing very solid mechanical plays out of Western Kentucky, but not too much in the way of passing or team plays.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen the duo of Chiggy and Gigawatt do pretty well together, but Quithrow, not much from him on the offensive side. You can definitely take advantage of one player playing more defensively compared to the rest of the team. You saw in the first game where they hit 6 goals. It was literally 3 goals to Chiggy, 3 goals to Gigawatt. Quithrow was just playing back, and you can kind of see him there. Like, even when the rest of his team is pushed forward, he is still playing that center field on the offensive side.
Yeah, he's been very, very withheld this entire match. You see, again, going to be in the back of the net. We talked about Western Kentucky having a pretty solid defense so far, but I want to see more out of him. You're absolutely right, David. Here he is building out of the half. Immediately gets demoed, sent back to where he belongs here. And you know what? UNC thinks he needs to play a little bit more defense as well.
Yeah, for sure. And ooh, that ball coming just across the front of the net there. Shiggy tempted to go for it, but saw the 3 players in front of the goal and knew that it was going to be a tough send overall. Now going to try to set up another play off this corner. S-Tree finally getting control of the ball, trying to send it upfield. Unfortunately, Chiggy's going to be able to win that air contest duck, getting a great save there. And now UNC going to try to make an offensive play.
UNC with another opportunity here in the opponent's half. Score still 0-0 with 1:30 off the clock. I'm starting to understand how that other series went. I feel like Western Kentucky are really running out of gas in the tank. They were explosive in the first couple games. They were very quick with their goals. They were absolutely blistering pace counterattacks. And now UNC's starting to come alive a little bit. And I feel like Kentucky have leveled down a touch.
Yeah, I think that can kind of come with a weaker opponent sometimes. A lot of the times, it could just be overconfidence, right? You say like, oh, we won that game 1 so handily. Oh, we won that game 2 handily. Let's just take game 3 easy, right? And sometimes that can just be really bad for the team mentality overall. So, overconfidence can be a slow and insidious killer, as they say.
That it can here. Western Kentucky, though, not wanting to get overconfident. Just need 1 goal to win this game. I mean, you think long-term, UNC have only scored the 1 goal for their efforts, and so Western Kentucky can lock it up in just that much. The longer
Yeah.
this ball spends in their half, the more I worry about Western Kentucky and their actual ability to get it out, right? We've seen solid individual plays, we saw dribbling plays. Here's one from Chiggy. It's up, has a flip reset off the roof, although the ball drops a little bit too early, gets desynced with it. And that's going to allow UNC to, again, build out of their half.
Yeah, I think UNC has been, they've played so much on their half now. They feel a lot more comfortable taking this ball out of their own half, whereas, Western Kentucky, they've played mostly offensive today. So once they get on that defensive foot, although Quithro's been playing that defensive very well, Gigawatt and Chiggy are definitely less accustomed to it overall. And now, this is the lowest scoring game we've seen all day. 2 minutes left on the clock, 0-0. It's still anybody's game. We might even go to overtime as 0-0.
I mean, at this pace, this game just goes infinitely. I mean, neither of these teams have created, I would say, a solid attacking opportunity for themselves, right? UNC has had a little bit of time in the Kentucky half. Western Kentucky has just been pelting balls downfield and following them up as best as they can with their mechanics, but I haven't seen an actual cross. I haven't seen team play from either of these teams, and that's what worries me in the future, especially for Western Kentucky. If they want hopes of beating Tennessee Tech, you need to work together a little bit better than you are right now.
Sure, and we talked about mentality. This is definitely going to be one of those games that it's going to be a little rough on the mentality of Western Kentucky. They do need to clean up this place for Tennessee Tech, like you mentioned, and if you close the series with a game like this,
boy,
that
spells trouble here for Western Kentucky. They have got to step on this gas pedal. And honestly, I'd say finding that heat again is harder than it is to lose it playing. When you talked about playing down against teams, right? It's easier to give up that speed than it is to actually find it back.
Yeah, for sure. And now, Etch Tree being that first scorer on this game sets the tempo in the complete opposite direction, right? UNC, this is the first time they've had a lead in this series, and as long as they play defensively well, they can continue. They can keep this lead up. Quithro gonna go for a goal on his own, seeing that his offensive members aren't doing as much this game, knowing that he needs to make his own plays, and Dragon now ready for this intercept on defensive end. Wow. Now we're starting to see slip-ups in the play of Western Kentucky. They just missed a 50-50 right there. And
oh boy. Tree, what a save. Another shot in, but he can't reach the second one here. Western Kentucky even it up 1-1. David, I think we've got a little bit of a series on our hand. I'm not going to say it too early, but if UNC can take this game away, this actually gets really, really interesting.
And now 25 seconds left. Really anybody's game, like we have been mentioning. God, I think UNC has just been doing a fantastic job of adapting to their opponents here, right? Game one, we saw a six scoring game. Game two, we saw a 4 scoring game. They just slowed down. It seems that they've learned so much about their opponents in these first 2 games, and adaptation in a long series like this is just so important, right? And now UNC looking to try to contest this. Obviously now most likely going to go to overtime in this last second. Estri going to go for this last defend right off the wall here, and honestly I think UNC just wants this ball to touch the ground now. Yep.
Well, now it gets a little bit more serious here. UNC need to find their 3rd goal of the series. Western Kentucky, after 2 amazingly high-scoring games, we're seeing absolutely nothing from them. Lack of a pulse, if you will, for a team that showed up that heavily. I can't tell if they just burned themselves out in the first couple games, if they started playing down, or UNC have really leveled up that much, but I feel like it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, for sure. And
wait a minute, this is dangerous. Oh, Estri misses on the shot though.
Close. Shiggy already there to defend as well, and now we're playing on this Western Kentucky side. I feel like every time this ball is on the offensive side for UNC, then it just feels very tough for Western Kentucky to try to take that and flip it, but they flipped it really well. Got 2 shots in. Unfortunately, UNC able to defend both of those, and now trying to just continue on this pressure.
Flip! Holy God! You didn't have to do it, Gigawatt!
Just great ball control, great use of boost.
This is 100% for style points, David.
Oh my God, that turnaround backflip was so nice. Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Western Kentucky closed the series there 3-1. A little bit tougher of a game in this match point. Sorry, series 3-0, not 3-1. My apologies. A little bit tougher of a game in this last one, but they're finally able to close it out. But this does spell a little bit of trouble going into this game against Western Kentucky. Against Tennessee Tech later today.
I can't get over that last shot. He broke out the musty flick for it. What? That's a very special kind of sauce, David. I'm not sure if you know, but that's a sprinkling of confidence, I'll say. If you can continue with stuff like that, my God, Tennessee Tech, look out.
Yeah, for sure. And for now, we're going to cut it to a quick break. We're looking to bring in one of these Western Kentucky guys to come in for an interview. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After a very interesting series, we just got to see Western Kentucky take down UNC, and we have the victor here with us. We are joined by Chiggy. How you doing, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. How about you all?
We're doing well. That was an entertaining series. It got a little close. UNC really started to step it up by that last game. I mean, it clearly got a little bit tougher as you guys went on. What was going through your heads as the game picked up?
For sure. I mean, most of the time it was mostly just like we were just playing solid, trying to rotate as well as possible, and ended up getting a bunch of our passes off and getting a few nice solo plays and everything, and it worked out. So,
Gotcha. Nice. And, obviously, it went to a game 3 here, and it was a little closer towards the end of the series, like Dora mentioned. Do you guys see that as more of like a UNC adapted to you really well, or is it just like you guys were starting to just play the games a little slower going into game 3?
I'd say it's a little bit of both. They definitely did start learning us a little bit near the end, but we did definitely slow it down a little bit too.
Yeah, man. And I mean, what a way to end the game there. The musty flick coming out. What was going through y'all's mind at that point? Like, you can definitely just flick that. You could have just put a little bit of sauce on it and beat the goalkeeper, but no, you gotta go for the nuts.
Oh, he just did it to him. He didn't have to do that. That dude plays runs though.
Hey, it's exactly what I like to see. And you know what? That puts some punctuation on the series. Y'all got a tough game coming up, right? You're going up against Tennessee Tech, and it's pretty much the only way that you guys are going to be able to steal away a second seed is if they lose their game up against University of Kentucky, which does seem relatively likely. And then you guys also need to take them down. So what's that looking like going into that next game? Is there anything you guys are doing to prepare for that?
I think after our last series against them, we did kind of start to figure them out a little bit, and we've practiced a little bit to try and play around them a little bit better. So I think we have better odds this time, I think, but they are very good. So we'll see.
Amen. Well, we'll get to catch a little bit more of you later tonight. Hopefully, we can catch you in another winner's interview. Good luck in your future games, though, and we'll see you later.
Thank you very much. See ya.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't be gone too long here. We've got another game coming up for you. We've got University of Kentucky playing up against Tennessee Tech, and that is going to be our first seed versus our second seed, so you will absolutely not want to miss it. Keep your eyes on your screens and your butts in those seats. We'll be back with you in just a little. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We've got our second game of the night on the board here as Tennessee Tech, seed number 1, goes to take on University of Kentucky, seed number 2 for the group. This one, well, it's partially for pride, David, right? We've got University of Kentucky. If they win this match, they lock up their seed guaranteed. However, if they lose this match, they're going to be going on in to play up against a little bit of a more difficult side, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. So, Tennessee Tech taking the world in their hands, obviously. We saw these teams earlier on in the bracket because it is a double round robin. University of Kentucky actually took this matchup 3-0. Incredible dominating performance from them throughout this bracket overall.
Yeah, pardon me, I think I misspoke, but Tennessee Tech are actually fighting to lock up that 3rd seed, right? And Tennessee Tech, if they lose this game against Kentucky, they actually have to fight Western Kentucky for that 3rd seed. We just saw Western Kentucky pop off, get some style points, and absolutely demolish UNC. So that's a team I'm actually really scared of right now.
Yeah, for sure. And now, University of Kentucky already coming out swinging here, knowing that, they want to just stay undefeated in the rest of this group. They want to just continue fighting for that top spot, just so it makes their matchups down the line a little bit easier, right? If you're in the top of the group, that means you're probably most likely facing, some weaker group members going into the next few days. But Tennessee Tech is not going to make this easy for them at all.
Man, right now I'm watching Tennessee Tech, and I think they've touched the ball all of 2, make that 3 now times. It is a rough one. Kentucky are just beating them in the air consistently right now, and that's a tough one because Kentucky look like they're beating them mostly on the speed department. And Tennessee Tech, they were really thriving from what we've seen on how fast they're able to be played. But if you just can't keep up, then what do you have, right? You need to focus on those rotations a little bit more. And right now, they're leaving open goals like that. Sergez comes in just in time for the shot. Crispe, again, another save here. But Tennessee Tech, by the skin of their teeth, are surviving this barrage of shots.
Yeah, and oh my God, out of nowhere, Sergez takes it out of the defense and amazingly brings it right into the goal. Great shot from them, and honestly, great way to just take it out of their hands. They only touched it a few times, but making those few touches count, like you mentioned. And I think that the biggest advantage here for Kentucky, at least, is that they're very decisive on their plays. It seems like every time they want to touch this ball, they know where their team is going to be, how they're going to set it up. They seem like they've played together a lot, but this first goal is going to shake them up a little bit for sure.
I mean, it's hard to ignore the team play that we just saw out of Tennessee Tech. Let's see if they can continue it here as Kentucky searching for a shot on the back of the goal. But I feel like it's kind of the opposite with Kentucky. They're relying very heavily on mechanics, on being able to play and rotate faster. But we haven't seen those team plays come out, those passing plays that Tennessee Tech used to score. And I think that's what you need to do, because Tennessee Tech, not a bad team by any right here. You're not going to get easy goals on them, and so they need to get a little bit more creative with it.
Yeah, and now Khan looking like to go off the top of the backboard, trying to set something up. I know that a lot of the University of Kentucky guys, they've been trying to bring the heat on early on, but a lot of the times right before these games, I know that they're sitting and playing a little bit of that new game called Valorant, and I think that may be starting to affect them a little bit instead of getting warm on the field beforehand, right? So now Tennessee Tech definitely looking like they have more energy, have more strength coming out because they played this last game. They're ready to come swinging. They're ready for this win. They need this win, honestly, in order for them to secure that second place spot, like we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, they're just trying to hold on to what they got. And look at this, a shot had by Sergez, and it's going to go in, balancing on the line for so long. But at this point, it just feels inevitable that balls like that go in. University of Kentucky, they're starting to show a lot of chinks in their armor.
Yeah, for sure. Those gaps in the armor is going to be a little hard for them because, the more holes you expose, it's easier for Tennessee Tech to take advantage of them, right? And, we mentioned earlier on that University of Kentucky were winning all of these air contests, right? These air 50-50s, but now Sergez is just looking to dominate the rest of this game, getting both shots and both goals so far. Now, and the fact that, University of Kentucky has been playing offensively for most of the game and not being able to get many goals here, not looking too good for them. Tennessee Tech's defense has been absolutely stellar today.
It really has. I've been impressed with their defensive rotations. They constantly have people back. They're playing at enough pace that they're able to keep up with UKentucky for the time being. But with 1:30 on the clock, I want to see UKentucky kind of rally back, right? They're a #1 seed for a reason. They've come out and they've shown us a lot of great gameplay, but they haven't really had to play from behind. So this is what I expect from them. I expect them to be able to not get mentally shaken. And Skies with a nice fake there. Ball's back center to Matt. Payrod? Payrod? Is that what we're going with? We'll call it that. Payrod comes in, finds himself a nice save. Shot over though, and Khan starts the comeback here, David. This is what we expect. Solid mental fortitude from UKentucky.
Yeah, and you know, once you get that first goal in, it's a little bit, you know, it can definitely snowball really well. You know, team mentality bumps up a little bit. Hey, we finally got that one in, right? But you know, they're still down a point. You know, although it is only a 1-point difference, it still doesn't mean it's anybody's game. Pressure's on for UKentucky to score within this last minute.
That it is, and 1 minute is not a large amount of time. It may be in Rocket League, but in this low scoring of a game when everything is so defensively based, you can really start to see Kentucky struggle, especially when the counterattacks from Tennessee Tech continue to come in. A third goal goes on the board, and I'm starting to lock this one up for the blue side. Sergey has a double touch here. Plays it back out wide. Payrod looking for another one. It's just ball possession now for Tennessee Tech. Just taking it slow, playing it casually, making sure that time ticks down off the clock. 30 seconds shot from Matt. Double touch off the wall. Tries for the bump on Sergey's, but the save going to be had. Khan replaying it back into the center here. Good double commit, though. It's going to make an opportunity for Kentucky. There's not much time to really capitalize on it.
Yeah, 20 seconds left means that, hey, this might be the first game that Tennessee Tech takes against University of Kentucky. Although, you know, don't count Khan and the boys out. Khan's going to try to set something up for Matt here in the center field. Unfortunately, blocked off in the air by Sergej, but 5 seconds left. Skies is going to try to make a play out of this for sure. Unfortunately, not many UKentucky people right in front of the goal. Tennessee Tech looking to tap it onto the ground, but Khan, Matt, and crew are already there to keep the ball alive. Crispe going to finally take the 50-50 and drop it on the ground. Tennessee Tech taking their first game win against University of Kentucky.
Well, that was unexpected, David, right? This is a scoreline we could never have seen coming. Tennessee Tech had lost really heavy-handedly to University of Kentucky. It was not particularly close last time, but we expect them to show up. They want to lock up that second seed as well, so I suspect they've been practicing a good bit. And winning this match, right, like we talked about earlier in the interview with Western Kentucky, about how they probably stood a chance because of the history of Tennessee Tech and University of Kentucky. They'd probably be able to take it down to that last match. But Tennessee Tech, they might even be able to lock it up here.
Yeah, and honestly, looking at these stats, I want to point out two crazy numbers here. Number one, University of Kentucky, 1 save total this entire game. That's wild to me. And honestly, Tennessee Tech, only 2 shots on goal, making both of them on the side of Sergej's, you know. University of Kentucky, they were able to put 13 shots onto this goal comparatively, right? It just means that Tennessee Tech has just been playing a phenomenal defense, and when they can make these offensive plays, they're making them count.
Right, you talked way earlier in the game, just after that first goal from Tennessee Tech, about decisive attacks, and this is exactly that. What the hell? Crispe, he comes in, scores an immediate goal here. Khan gets aggressive, and this is trying for something cheeky on the kickoff. But you need to remember that your attacking player on the kickoff needs to set that up. He didn't. He attacked with the nose of his car, and so instead of the ball just laying flat, it got sent flying where they didn't want to go. A little bit of miscommunication there from University of Kentucky, but they're punished heavily for it.
Yeah, and overall, I honestly want to see University of Kentucky try to change up their style of play, right? They are going very offensive, right? These 13 shots that they were making, they're playing really well, but I want to see them, when they're going on this offensive, try to get like maybe 1, maybe 2 demos, right? A lot of the time, Tennessee Tech is winning these tests on their side of the field because they're putting 2, 3 people in front of their goal, and if you can get one of these guys demoed and out of the way, it means you have just more shots, an easier and more open goal for you to score on.
All right, you talk about a change of pace here, and UKentucky looks like they might want to make it, but see it going on later in the match. Good pass here, Crispe. Good pressure in the midfield. They've intercepted everything that UKentucky have done. In fact, we're seeing UKentucky struggle to keep the ball out of their half, which starts to come back down to that midfield pressure that we always talk about. The team that is winning those 50-50s is generally going to be having so much more possession. At this point in time, it feels like it's been Tennessee Tech every single time.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, they've just been playing this defensive rotation so well. Crispy looking to get control of the ball. Sky's taking it away from him, though. It feels like University of Kentucky, their rotations have been good offensively, but once they play defensively, they definitely expose a lot of weaknesses, like you mentioned, those gaps in the armor, right? And Tennessee Tech is just taking advantage so well. I think they're just playing fantastically on the day for sure.
As they are, Tennessee Tech coming in, swinging a shot on goal. Good save there by Skies, though, to save it. Still, the pressure from Tennessee Tech continues. The midfield aggression challenged again here. Crispy comes up, Payrod comes up, but a missed shot. And an opportunity now for University of Kentucky across the center. Shot from Kahn, it's over the top and it's into the bins. Tennessee Tech even up the score.
Yeah, great. Sorry, Kentucky, great shot, great setup there from Kahn and Payrod overall. This is a University of Kentucky team that we kind of expected, coming out swinging, being a little bit more aggressive, but I think Tennessee has just been doing such a great job of adaptation. I remember last time that I casted Tennessee Tech here, they came into the interview box saying that, hey, University of Kentucky, they're a pretty big rival for us. We kind of can go even in some of these games, but a lot of the times, University of Kentucky is usually the team that takes the edge here. But Tennessee Tech is really trying to show that, they're going to be trying to take this this head-to-head for themselves, trying to become the winner here now.
Kentucky haven't won yet. And while other half still struggles here, Sergey and Payrod have put on such good pressure. Crispy comes through, Payrod with the dunk. Oh, he just barely misses. But the ball still in possession of Tennessee Tech, and my God, where does this ball control come from? I would fully expect Kentucky with their victory last time these two teams played to be showing up so well, but Tennessee Tech have effectively shifted all of their pressure to the midfield and is paying off in spades right now.
Yeah, for sure. And now this game has just slowed down incredibly. 2 minutes left on the clock, 1-1. University of Kentucky looking to try to make plays happen, try to go on this offensive score, but I wish they just played a little closer. Payrod is almost always in front of this goal. Sergey's is always in one of these corners. They definitely need to just try to remove one of these players in order to make something happen, because their passes are on point on the side of Kentucky. Their plays are on point. Their setups are pretty on point as well. It's just that Tennessee Tech is just all over this defensive rotation.
Tennessee Tech again, though remember, all that pressure in midfield means the second that it gets past that, it gets dicey for them. University of Kentucky looking to build out of their half. They might want to play that boot game a little more. The shot on goals, guys! With the save yet again here, saving their hopes of winning this game. Almost another one. Payrod comes in, shoves it in the back of the net, and leads the game for Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, Skies with that last second save was absolutely fantastic, but all three of those guys trying to go for the ball. Honestly, I didn't even know where that ball was going to end up, but it did end up in the goal. Tennessee Tech taking that lead now. 1 minute left on the clock. Still anybody's game.
Still is here. University of Kentucky looking to build out of their half, but Skies win the challenge. Oh, he fakes, goes to the wave, that's a dribble. Oh, Payrod from the side, but it's intercepted! The shot comes in from Matt out of nowhere in 2-2. We might be getting to see a little bit more overtime, David.
Yeah, for sure. And, it looks like University of Kentucky is finally a little bit more warmed up. They're able to understand the Tennessee Tech team a little bit more. I honestly want to see them try to, play around some of these defensive players. I've talked about these demos earlier on, but, hey, man, if you can just win at least, these two-person contest 50-50s sometimes, you can just play around these defensive players super well. Sergey's has just been playing so well. I don't think there's a point where Sergey's has gone up for the ball and not touched it.
Yeah, it's been a little bit rough, but here comes Matt. Good touch, Sergey for the shot, and he's gonna touch that one, Hans. 3-2. Tennessee Tech, I feel like, as much as we've seen Kentucky adapt in this game, every single time, Tennessee Tech just cranks up the pressure more, pushes further into that Kentucky territory, and they don't even have room to think back there.
Yeah, it's so tough overall, and we still have seen some great plays coming out of these oh my God, these teams. Crispy, Payrod, and Sergey has just been playing absolutely phenomenally now, almost doubling, almost tripling the shot count of their last game. It just means that they're just playing more, more comfortably on the offensive side for Tennessee Tech, which looks really good on them.
Now, Tennessee Tennessee Tech with the lead. A shot in, saved by Payrod here. 5 seconds up. Khan plays the ball center. Great touch by Payrod, though. Shoves it back out wide. Sergey's going to lay it down. And a game 2 here for Tennessee Tech, something we didn't think we'd ever be saying. But it's actually going to be University of Kentucky up against the ropes here.
Yeah, for sure. And now, Western Kentucky's probably watching this game, biting their nails a little bit. University of Kentucky does definitely have to win, get this reverse sweep in order for them to take this. But, obviously University of Kentucky starting the day here today, completely undefeated. Obviously, they're completely open to take this loss, right? They still would be number 1 in this group, even if they lose this game. Potentially just a little bit, confident, maybe just saying that, hey, we can take it easy for today. Let's try a little harder going into these next few days, right? So it could be a little bit of a syndrome of, hey, we've already secured the group. Let's just take it a little comfortably. Even though they're second, they can take the win. Maybe a lot less tiebreakers on the end of the day.
Man, I could not disagree with that style of play more. Maybe what they go with, and maybe the mentality that they have. But for me, this is a wake-up call before this weekend. This is what every single game is going to be like. Every single team is at least as good as Tennessee Tech is right now. You do not want to be coming in and get caught with your pants down this weekend.
Oh, yeah, I definitely would have to agree with you. Unfortunately, we hit a little bit of a server bump there. Sometimes Rocket League does that to us.
Doing that lately, man.
Yeah,
it's
unfortunately.
rude.
But for now, we're going to cut to a quick break just to make sure that this game gets back underway for you guys, gets these technical issues out of the way, and we'll be right back in just a minute.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Tennessee Tech taking on University of Kentucky, currently up 2-0, though, are the Tennessee side. Now that we've got a new server up and running, they're looking to close it out. David, you want to give us a little recap on how this series has been going so far, though?
Oh man, you know what? We came into the day, right even before the start of this match. We were even talking, hey, Western Kentucky, University of Kentucky, not Western Kentucky, my fault. University of Kentucky won their first match against the Tennessee Tech boys 3-0, so we fully expected them to take this, but now Tennessee Tech has been winning these first 2 games, right? But obviously they've been very close. I definitely think University of Kentucky can come back in these last remaining 3 games, but doing a reverse sweep is pretty tough overall.
Yeah, it definitely is here, and as they look to take it, Tennessee Tech are still applying the same pressure that we've seen from them in pretty much every single other game, and that's not what you need when you're trying to make that reverse sweep like you're talking about. And we spoke about it during the little break that we had, right? Tennessee Tech fully stand a chance of doing this, but it's a matter of really finding that confidence and turning this game around, because right now it's the same exact thing as we've seen in times past. Yeah,
for sure. And honestly, University of Kentucky, I think they have one clear goal for this game: shut down Sergey's. And you see that 2 demos coming out. That means 2 defenders down for a couple seconds. University of Kentucky's just gonna stroll this ball right in as one of the Tennessee Tech guys responds. University of Kentucky finally getting one of those finally getting a lead in this series.
All right, the demo meta, it's back, baby. It's a little bit tough here for Kentucky, but they're just gonna punch all their problems, just hit them harder and then score the goals, and you know what, that works for them so far. Crispay up for a shot, good redirect. Sky's up for the save, will be having it here. Kentucky will maintain their lead, and now with that 1 goal, I want to see them carry it over, right? That's gonna be a hit over to Tennessee's confidence. We're gonna see them play a little bit less aggressively, and oh my god, it's not stopping anytime soon, is it, David?
Yeah, and I said it earlier, he was one of the players that didn't stop touching the ball when he was able to touch it, and getting these 2 demos on him this game. Honestly, I think it's just a good shift in Kentucky's gameplay, but Crispay gonna finally put a ball in this net, tying up this game. This match is so close. It's definitely a nail-biter here.
Yeah, it is, man. And this is what it's felt like, except this game is so much more fast-paced. I think Kentucky have made a conscious decision to really step on the gas pedal and get aggressive with it, but Tennessee Tech have not stopped being aggressive with it at all. So this might turn into a very high-scoring game relative to what we've seen before.
Yeah, for sure. And Sergey's now trying to get the demos back. You kill me, I kill you. This is how it's gonna work. But Sky's gonna take to the skies himself, passes the ball right to one of the Tennessee Tech guys, which is unfortunate. But Crispay just gonna save it. They're putting a little bit more air into that ball, so it goes on to that backboard. Great save from him.
Quality stuff. We've got a rule 1 here between Skies and Crispay, so it's actually gonna be a 2 versus 2 now for the time being. The game gets a little bit different. Curious to see whether or not they actually hold on to that one. I actually do not think they're. No, they're still in the corner going at it. So 2v2 until the goal happens, I presume here. It's gonna make this game very, very interesting. You know what? It may be a 1st and 2nd seed match, but you love to see respect. You love to see them stick with rule 1. And it's going to allow a lot of pressure to come out from Kentucky. See how Tennessee Tech can do when they don't have all those rotations to rely on. Matt comes in, shot! It's going to be a great save, though, from Sergey that does it. Ball bolting towards the Kentucky goal. Caught barely there in time to save it.
Yeah, and oh my god, that 1v1 challenge lasted for so long. But, as soon as that ball came onto the side of Tennessee Tech, Kentucky just disengaged that 1v1, knowing that they had the advantage on this offensive side. Now Payrod going to try to make another goal happen, but it was just a little too wide there. Sky's going to recover and try to make another offensive play happen. Unfortunately, not able to grab that boost. Sergey gets to it first, and Tennessee Tech, it's just a lot of back and forth here. It seems like every couple seconds, it really just goes back onto the opposite side of this field.
That it does. Only one of these teams is going to come out ahead, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this one held until overtime. It is just ping pong back and forth here, coast to coast. Which team is going to slip up first, though, right? This is a very defensive oriented game. The teams can either create offensive opportunities or rely on the other team to slip up, and it looks like it's going to be the latter. They're both going for fairly basic attacks and just waiting for the right opportunity to show up while playing safe.
Yeah, for sure. And the right opportunity definitely will eventually present itself. We saw that in match 1 where Tennessee Tech was taking advantage of these mistakes that Kentucky was making. And now Kentucky knows that Tennessee Tech has just been on point today. They've just been playing, you know, pretty elementary Rocket League on both sides, respecting each other, knowing that this has to be the way this game plays out. You know, these two schools are definitely rivals for sure, and giving respect to your rival is something that you always want to do.
Well, a battle of attrition here is what they're both opting into. 45 seconds tick down on the clock. We might see another overtime here, though. I mentioned earlier that we should see the scores go up, but with neither of these teams slipping up on defense, that actually hasn't happened at all. They both kind of let off the gas pedal a little bit, like you mentioned, respecting one another, but it's Kentucky with a good attempt here. Shots open, towel down from Con. Great save by Crispy, though. Ball still in that UK possession, though.
Yeah, honestly, Crispy coming out of that goal last second. I barely even saw him come out of that goal. I jumped out of my seat, but, you know, now 15 seconds left on the clock. Really looking like that overtime, like you mentioned. I would like to say, though, Kentucky doing a really good job cleaning up the defense, but man, my caster curse really shining through. Sergey's making that goal count.
Oh boy, 7 seconds. The heat is on here for University of Kentucky. If they want to maintain that clean slate, that clean record right now, they're going to need to take this one away in just a little bit of time. Ball already into their half. That is not where you want to be with 3 seconds left on the clock. Crispy just going to let that one touch the ground. Ball goes down. Skies plays it up. 60 boost to try and make it happen. Play back down to Khan, but Sergey dumps it into the ground, wins the game, and we're going to see Tennessee Tech out of nowhere blast through Kentucky.
And yeah, that really just is a great match for Tennessee Tech. You know, completely turning it around. Now it's a 1-to-1 individual score between Kentucky and Tennessee Tech. Just showing fantastic improvement for these guys throughout the week so far, and also means that they secure the number 2 spot. They don't even have to care about the Western Kentucky game later on today.
That's actually real sad for Western Kentucky. They were looking pretty hot coming off of their previous match, but congratulations to Tennessee Tech. They played a fantastic game today. Actually took a notch out of University of Kentucky's belt. And now University of Kentucky, they got another game ahead, and it's kind of rough playing after a loss like that. But I suspect UNC has a fight to put up against them, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. You know, they were closing that first series that they had pretty evenly comparatively, right? You know, they started out a little rough, and we definitely wanted them to, you know, keep playing that out. But UNC playing that first series pretty well. We're going to cut to a quick break, though, while we find one of these Tennessee Tech players to join us here in the interview booth, Bill. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have a nice little interview with our victor here on the call. We have Sergey. How you doing?
Great, man. How are you guys?
We're doing well. It was an exciting match to watch. I mean, Kentucky, a formidable opponent. God, you guys just came out swinging, didn't you?
Yes, we did. We knew we had to 3-0 them to even up the game differential, so that's what we did.
And honestly, fantastic way of coming back. You know, you said that you needed to 3-0 them, you know. What was the difference in game plan between this match and the last match you had against them? And obviously, Kentucky took it 3-0 last time.
Well, last week, or I think it was last week when we played them, was their Skies was just going around and demoing us. So, and after him demoing us, our defense, we would have minimal boost to be able to make these saves that we could. So this week, anything in the corners and stuff, we just kept it close because we knew he'd be coming for those demos, and he didn't. Unfortunately for him, they didn't get that many demos during this series, so we had the boost to make those saves, and our defense held.
Yeah, it seemed like that was really happening later on in the game. They realized, okay, we do actually need to go for this demo meta if we want to be taking this one away. But what really impressed me was the pace that you guys came out at, right? Very little warm-up before this game. Obviously, you can play some to get yourself in the mood for playing. But coming out, you guys just immediately outpaced Kentucky. Is that how you expected this game to go, or did you expect Kentucky to be able to keep up with the rotations a little better?
No, it's usually like flat out tie between us. It could be go into all overtimes or to a game 5, but we just come out swinging. I don't really know what it was. I told them last week that it's always a toss up between us because they are our rival, and it could go either way every time.
Hey, man, well, congratulations on the win. It was exciting to watch, and it got a little bit closer later, and I want to know why you think that was, because University of Kentucky, we saw them actually pick up the pace and start playing even. Both of you got aggressive, and then simultaneously, like, backed off at the same time. What kind of conscious decision and mind games were actually going on at that point?
Yeah, so I don't feel like they necessarily got that much pressure on us, you know, because like I said, whenever we it may have been on our end for a couple times for a little longer than we wanted, but like I said, in the corners we like to keep it close, so that may be what it looks like that they're having so much pressure, but it's because we keep the ball close in the corners and we take our time getting it out that we just keep control.
Hey, that's definitely a smart play, especially when you mentioned like they were going for the demos and everything. It's awesome to see smart play being implemented like that, and congratulations on locking up that spot to head into playoffs, man. That's a big thing, and we can't wait to see you play there. Thank you again for popping into the interview, and good luck in your game later tonight, no less. You're still playing for that first seed.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, take it easy. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got more Rocket League to be played tonight. 2 more games remain in this group. We'll see UNC take on University of Kentucky, followed up by Western Kentucky versus Tennessee Tech. You won't want to be missing those. Tennessee Tech still trying to lock up that first seed position, so keep your eyes on your screen, your butts in those seats. We'll be right back with you shortly. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have our third match of the night, and sadly, we see David Haunt's Chen go. But we have our favorite. You know what, Gus? We're real close with one another, but you're still one of my favorite people to cast with somehow.
Aw, look at you.
You think I'd have enough of you by now, right?
Right. Because we've casted a teensy tiny bit too much in the past couple of days, but a teensy tiny bit too much just means that I get to spend a little bit more time with you, Dor. And ladies and gentlemen, we still get to spend a little bit more time with these two teams who have already been on stream, UNC Chapel Hill and the University of Kentucky, battling it out in the Rocket League arena, and there's already sparks flying. I mean, this is a classic matchup in both the virtual sense and on hardwood.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about arena so much as Coliseum here. These gladiators are just duking it out, blowing each other up left and right, but it's going to be University of Kentucky getting the better of them to start off. And you know what? After a hard loss against the Tennessee Tech that came out swinging, I talked about it last night, but you mess with that top seed team, and they're going to come back looking for a punching bag. And I think UNC needs to be a little bit careful about how they take this matchup.
Yes, sir. So now you already have yourself. I mean, University of Kentucky, they're already in playoffs. I mean, we already know which teams from this group are going to make playoffs. UNC can play spoiler to University of Kentucky, however. Before today even started, this team was, well on their way to grabbing themselves a first seed. Hell, the win-loss difference was totally in their favor, but they just suffered a 3-0 to the second place team. And now at this point, anything but a 3-0 against UNC would be drastic for them.
Yeah, it really would be. They need to lock up that first seed as best they can. Of course, Tennessee Tech are still coming for it. Tennessee Tech mentioned earlier during their interview they needed that 3-0 to maybe take away this first seed. They still need to win later, but the more that University of Kentucky can take away in this game, the less likely that becomes.
Yes, sir. So here we go again. Also, just kind of going down the line that I mentioned earlier. Just kind of, both teams pretty good in both the virtual sense and on hardwood. I mean, Dor, if you know, my friend, because in the basketball realm, these two teams, I mean, these two schools consistently topping the charts in terms of basketball performance, multiple national championships between these D1 institutions. And I mean, University of Kentucky, they might be able to kind of grab themselves yet another championship in their repertoire, but in a completely different sense. Although they're, I guess you could say their momentum isn't exactly all that great coming off of their first game, but they're starting to build it back up. Now it's a 2-0 over the Tar Heels.
And it's a big momentum starting to be built up here just about halfway through the game. Only 2-0 though. We haven't seen much in the way of high-scoring games tonight. I mean, the biggest thing we saw was a 6-0 from Western Kentucky, but that immediately got turned around. UNC started taking those games 1-2. And even the best teams in this group seem like they're struggling a little bit against UNC. They've been doing a fantastic job at keeping it close.
So UNC keeping it close is one thing, but can they actually get balls on net? Doesn't seem like University of Kentucky isn't, they're not going to be too ready to let those go by, not even midfield at this point. Salt Shaker is able to clear one towards the back wall, but no actual opportunity is going to be culminated from that. At this point, it's just kind of a slugfest between these two sides, with University of Kentucky sliding the ball in once in a while.
That is 100% fair, and honestly, like you said, pretty even, especially in the midfield, but it's stuff like that. It's University of Kentucky finishing off their attack, and what an angle, too, here from Skies. Finds the ball up off the roof, no less. I'll give you a couple style points for that one.
Just a couple of style points, right? A 3-0 scoreline, and then you finally get yourself a mini Twitch clip moment. I mean, that's like a filler clip for your montage. just like one of those transition clips that you put in, but like, maybe we could say one of the highlights.
The fade,
Exactly. But maybe we could find one of those big highlight plays, at least from these Tar Heels, because I mean, really anything would show up in their resume, as they simply haven't been able to score against University of Kentucky thus yet, and also their record against teams like University of Kentucky and our last team that ended up winning, moving on into our first seed. Thus far, UNC, they haven't been able to post on too many goals, that's for sure.
No, but we saw them come out in their previous match against Western Kentucky, an arguably difficult team for them to face. So they've kind of leveled up in a sense, right? The last game was preparation. They didn't manage to get a win, but they did manage to get goals in most of the games there. And now you kind of level that up a bit, okay? You've played against some of those mid-table teams. Now let's see what you can do against University of Kentucky, especially one that's been beaten a little bit in their previous series. I'd say the morale definitely has to be down a bit.
Yeah, down just a little bit. I mean, they've lost meaning in a sense. You know what I mean? Unless they really do want to kind of shake up the landscape of playoffs, it's really not gonna matter all too much. It is based off of judging, so UNC could kind of tip some of the judges' door. Me and you being two of them at the moment. It would be interesting to see how things would kind of roll out if UNC were able to pull a big upset, but again, in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter all too much.
Well, I mean, if we see UNC actually take a few goals away from University of Kentucky here, I actually think that's a bit of a ding to them. I mean, UNC is a team that has solid fundamentals and solid rotations, but mechanically, you should be able to outspeed them. You should be able to dribble circles around these players, and we saw University of Kentucky even later on into the game against Tennessee Tech, they were constantly turning up the pace. But you know what I don't want to be seeing right now is UNC starting to come back because University of Kentucky get lazy.
Okay. I mean, get lazy. That was okay, yeah. Kickoffs can be a little scrappy. Yeah.
We talked about it with Western Kentucky, right? Western Kentucky had a harder time later because they started playing down, because they slowed down their play to match that of UNC. UNC actually got a lot more comfortable on the field, and it's not leaving space for teams that may be below you to take advantage of. And I really don't want to see that from University of Kentucky. And there we go. A goal on the board to solidify their lead in the end. 4-2 will be the final score of Game 1.
Well, Thor, don't want to say it because I mean it was sort of gonna happen, but certainly the dagger in a sense near the end there, as finally University of Kentucky, they're gonna steal away a game here from UNC. I mean UNC, I say steal, but that was more near the end. UNC, they had the momentum going towards their favor, but University of Kentucky, these Wildcats, certainly with all the momentum on their shoulders, especially after that last game, they have at least the confidence to work with.
That they do. We're heading into Game 2. A Kentucky that is, they're looking a little bit angry here, and that's what we want to see from them, right? Heading into a Game 2. I don't want to see them get complacent. I want to see them apply shot after shot after shot. Try and take this thing as high as you can possibly go against UNC, and not give them any space to play with like they did later on in that game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, just looking at our standings in terms of this group, things are relatively straightforward on the bottom end. Again, UNC at the very bottom at an 0-5 scoreline, with Western Kentucky University at 2-3. Now we get to these top two spots, and when we call these two top teams even, we mean dead even in terms of points and in terms of stats. Their win-loss ratio is at the exact same. They're both at 9, if I'm not mistaken. And like I mentioned before, University of Kentucky and Tennessee Tech, somehow one of these two teams are going to have to differentiate each other in terms of win-loss. That would mean one team with either a 3-0 or 3-1, and the other team just has to take something different. Although these last two games, they should just be cleanups, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's really no excuse here for University of Kentucky to be losing games, to be giving up goals even against the bottom seed. You've proven your mettle. Now back it up, man. They need to show us what they've got, because when you head into playoffs, right, you can't afford to play down in games, right? You need to win the games that you're going to win with a lot of pressure being applied to the other team, because then you can start to focus your mental game for other matches. If you start playing close games every single time and you're going 3 days in a row doing that, that gets really, really taxing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not all too long of a day for either one of these teams. I mean, we saw 2 straight 3-0s, so this has honestly been another day in the office for some of these players. But a little bit of pressure here from UNC. The ball barely gets defended at the very end of a bump right before the goal line. And now here comes a counterattack. Sky's going to send it forward. Matt up front, and same thing with Khan. Khan, ooh, not able to clear it out all the way. But none of these UNC players able to be there for the rebound. Now here comes yet another clear. Khan is there. Duck goes into 50-50. It's actually in a great position for Etched Tree. And still in the control of the University of Kentucky players. But what was that? What was that? Duck trying to capitalize. Salt Shaker, he was going somewhere. Not exactly where he was going, but he was going somewhere. And 3 minutes left, and we're still scoreless here.
That we are, and Kentucky, man, they're playing so slow right now. I know they have better play than this. I know they've shown us team play. I know they've shown us individual prowess, but they're not challenging high. They're allowing UNC to be reaching these balls that they really have no right to be getting, and now we talk about Kentucky and how they're playing. I want to see UNC take advantage of this. Get some shots off. There you go. There's one. Skies with the good save, but the ball's up. Dangerous territory here. Tap back down to the midfield, but Skies gets the touch and plays it out. Kentucky, they've got a good bit of possession, and I want to see them build on that. Take that boost control. Get some more shots off goal, and here we go, Gus.
Here we go indeed, my friend. Halfway through this game, and again, still scoreless. This could be anyone's game. Oh, baby! But that's how you assert a little bit of dominance over your opponents. Not only do you get yourself a little bit of a goal, but you get Khan ramming into Etched Tree. And I can see that silhouette in his profile picture. That is Ronaldinho, my friend, and he surely is pulling some tricky moves, just like the Brazilian goal scorer.
That he is here. Kentucky, man, they have been looking good in previous games. Like I said, all I want to see is confidence from them right now. I do not want to see any old University of Kentucky playing casually. I want to see combat. I want to see them trying hard. I know it's the last week. I know you've got that spot filled up, but there we go. A nice little team play from Skies and Khan, and they're going to be fine their second of the game.
Oh, that was sick. That was sick. Just a 1-2 combo there with Khan needing to go all the way up. Kind of take his time on the aerial to get the ball in the right position. And that last little tap pass, Etched Tree. 150 left in this game. And you already have yet another counterattack. Khan trying to bump it on over Etched Tree, but that's not going to work out. Matt on the wing trying to control. Both of his teammates were on the front lines. He was trying to delay to try to get them some boost. That's exactly what he does. Well done. Double tap towards the wall. There's still going to be Skies winning up towards the post, and he's actually not going to be able to get there. Now our counterattack from Etched Tree. He's all alone. Skies from behind trying to reach the ball. Wow! A little bit of karma. Goodness. A little bit of an Uno reverse card here as Etched Tree does exactly what Khan did to the other side. What a play.
And Skies was so close to the save, but Etched Tree is taking this match into his own hands. It's exactly what we saw with West Kentucky. It was just so close by that final game because Etched Tree just comes alive in series like this. The man's able to step up when nobody can, but Kentucky are looking to fire back another goal. Khan puts it in 3-1. They solidify their lead.
Surely, my friend. So Etched Tree couldn't get ahead on it, and yes, that's gonna be Khan with the last tap. And yeah, although UNC again they're putting up a fight and they're making this worthwhile in a sense, University of Kentucky just kind of showing why they're in the playoffs, why they actually deserve that first seed spot, because again, that first seed isn't exactly going to be decided today. Ladies and gentlemen, there have been a couple of groups where simply a first seed is not given. Two teams tie for a number one, and they are sent into playoffs off of judgment. Now, with this group at least, we're going to have two clear teams into playoffs. Ooh. And maybe an even scoreline at the end. But speaking of even, UNC still trying to make this one even, as there you go. A ball going toward the last end, and a double tap from the University of Kentucky players, not letting it in. Skies again up towards the goal, and a stuff there from Duck. A very dramatic 20 seconds there as UNC had multiple opportunities to score.
I mean, so many of these are just ringing off the crossbar here for University of Kentucky. And I've thought this before about other teams, but they look like they're getting comfortable defending, and you never want to see that. See, though, as UNC plays ball to the half, they have 20 seconds to try and score another goal. Duck plays ball center. Etchery with a shot, plays it back out wide. Duck can't quite get the touch that he wants, though. Salt Shaker plays it forward. Again, ball's up. No Etchery to save them this time. Or is there? The shot from Duck in the upper bins. Off the bar, 3 seconds. It's so close, but Skies gets the ball out. This is almost definitely going to be hitting here, and it's going to be University of Kentucky taking game 2 in a much closer fashion.
Yes, sir. But still, like you mentioned, on paper, that's going to be another W for the Wildcats side. And Door, overall, we did see some improvements from UNC, but what exactly did they improve? I saw some more passing, some more synergy, but is there anything that you can pinpoint?
I mean, I think this UNC side is way better on the attack than the defense, right? We saw them in the earlier match struggle to even find saves against Western Kentucky. However, when Western Kentucky let up, they got put on the back foot. That's when we saw UNC come alive. So their advantage state, if you will, is actually really, really good for them. But it's getting there that's been the problem. And once they got there in this game, they held it for a while. They found 2 goals off of it. And I want to continue to see them try and force that in this next game.
Yeah, forcing the situation would be, I guess you could say, kind of manageable for University of Kentucky, because again, this game is more or less a test for them. Because I mean, right after essentially a dominating loss to what was a team that you were honestly, they had already beaten. You know what I mean? So, like, in their history, at least, they were feeling real confident going into the game. And then after that, it's super debilitating. That's a clean 3-0 going against them. Now, UNC Chapel Hill, they had a pretty close game earlier on. But, again, they really haven't made any noise throughout this season. Both teams with something to prove, and it's all going to culminate in these next 3 games, potentially. Or just this game alone, if the University of Kentucky can close things off 3-0.
Oh, good shot. UNC. Wait a minute, a third? Oh, you can't hit the crossbar that many times, my friends. If you want goals, you've got to make them count when you have the opportunity. Now, Kentucky, the counterattack. Nice flick, but no ground found off of it. Salt Shaker with a great attempt playing it out wide. UNC seemingly strength in numbers when it comes to the opponent's half, and Kentucky actually haven't counterattacked at all in this game. There's been so many opportunities to. I feel like they need to recognize that opening.
Send off to the side from Khan. In comes Duck. So we're going to play it off by Etchery, and Khan sends it forward also. Still a little bit more than a minute in. Oh, Salt Shaker. Simply can't get this clear. No one from UNC can get this clear. A barrage of Wildcats going up towards the attacking side. And there goes a shot towards the back wall. Trying to go for a double tap again is Khan, but he's going to miss out on the second shot. Counter attack from USC. Etchery sends it forward. Still Matt off the wing. Good pass to the middle, and that's going to be a beautiful play from USC.
Imagine a world where UNC actually start taking a game off of Kentucky right now. We could see a real big shakeup in that 1 and 2 seed. That's so... It's crazy that University of Kentucky can come and show up against Tennessee Tech like they have, and then come play like this against the University of North Carolina. It's night and day, right? We saw aerial challenges left and right off walls, anywhere they could get them in the previous game. But in this one, we haven't seen any of that. They've been playing on the ground. They've been playing to the level of UNC, and UNC has been happy to oblige.
Happy to oblige. I like that. I like that. So UNC certainly... more than happy to take at least a little bit of a lead here. And we might see yet another goal. Feels backflip man from Matt. But simply no one's going to be there for the take. Etchery missing out on the ball and still Ball being kept on that orange side. But a wide rotation from UNC for everyone to get boosted. And wow, that rotation gets broken from the reversal. From, if I'm not mistaken, it was Salt Shaker. Kind of unfortunate there, but Dor, we've had this conversation before. That reverse button, not exactly a Rocket League player's best friend.
No, and generally speaking, if you get caught in reverse, most likely your fault, right? Most likely you not being in position in time or not facing your car correctly. Of course, there's always the half flip that can rectify it, and so not being able to pull off those mechanics is kind of just going to be on the individual player, and having that out of position did allow the cross to come in, but now Kentucky putting more pressure onto the backboard of UNC, but not finishing off any shots.
Well, for now, but what a save from Skies. Putting his car in the perfect position. Now he makes the return, and Duck already on him. 2 minutes left on the clock. Dor, from the performance thus far and sort of the slow start from University of Kentucky, what do you think's taking this one?
I mean, it could go either way. And honestly, I feel like that's more polarizing, right? I don't think there's a world where I can give UNC an advantage here and say, okay, they're definitely going to win this. But I actually think it's so much closer than it should be. And UNC have another shot here. Salt Shaker passes out wide. Edge Tree, the shot! It's off the crossbar, though! Off the post, and he can't find the back of the net. Another cross hat, another shot from Edge Tree, and another save by University of Kentucky, keeping their first seed hopes alive. What a pinch from Kentucky. Lay the ball back down, and that is a fantastic mechanical play from them.
Oh yeah, a wonderful play. And I mean, just that pinch from Skies was just enough to pique your interest in Khan. With the roll onto the bottom of his car, but the momentum was so good that, you know, it didn't really need to use the back of his car. Nails it in the goal just off the corner. And now University of Kentucky looking for this little cleanup now, because you still have UNC playing a teensy tiny bit more defense in this game, but they're going to start to get antsy. They're going to start to get desperate here, Dor.
They are. They've got to be real careful here. I want to see you, Kentucky, just take time off this clock, honestly. As much as I'd love to see them play fast and just beat this UNC team, I don't think now is the time to be taking those kind of risks with Edge Tree constantly barking up yours. Salt Shaker is back here. UNC searching for another opportunity to play out of their half. Con looking for one more to seal this game out, though. Good pass by Duck. Edge Tree out the shot. Not going to be had, though. Just barely whiffs on the ball here. And University of Kentucky maintaining possession right in front of the UNC goal.
Now 30 seconds. Pressure mounting. Oh, good start from Matt. Oh no, Khan, what are you doing? What are you cooking up here, buddy? No, it doesn't even matter. Matt just goes all solo. I was about to say, Khan's going for some tricky business, but instead it was Matt. Exactly that, but Matt with a little bit of a wave landing near the end, and that's going to be a 3-1 scoreline for the University of Kentucky. Ooh, save from Matt. And, oh yeah, no, this one's got to be a door. That's the nail in the coffin.
Okay, 10 seconds hits, and then he said that. I see how it is, Guts. I see.
Right. I had to wait.
Oh my god. If Edge Tree gave him the sauce there, I might have, like, just considered it a tie, like, in my heart, you know? But, unfortunately, not going to be happening. University of Kentucky seal off the game 3-1. Not the series we were expecting to see, but still a 3-0 victory for University of Kentucky at the end of the day.
Rightfully so, my friend. So this one was pretty cut and dry. We already knew more or less what the scoreline would be at the end, but University of Kentucky, they were looking pretty shaky, and they've kind of reaffirmed what they're all about going into playoffs. So they do get that 3-0, and they're at least going to guarantee themselves a tie for first place. But is the first place going to be confirmed? Ladies and gentlemen, we still have one more game on our schedule, and it's Western Kentucky University facing off against Tennessee Tech. And yeah, that one should be quite interesting because again, Western Kentucky University, they do have a couple of dubs under their belt on this season, and Tennessee Tech off the back of a pretty much one of their biggest W's that we've seen them take thus far. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to set up a little bit of a winners interview if we're not mistaken, and we'll be right back with that and Western Kentucky University versus Tennessee Tech. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our broadcast, and we're going to do a little bit of a player interview here with the University of Kentucky's own Con. Con, first of all, buddy, it's a question that almost every interviewer has to ask. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling all right. You know, I feel like our series against Tennessee Tech could have been better for certain little mistakes we got to clean up, but, you know, that's on us. So, but leaving on a win, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the confidence, the can't have been particularly high coming into this match. I mean, I know that's a huge notch in your belt being able to beat Tennessee Tech, and you got it on the first week. Rough time this week, but going up against UNC, I kind of want to get your opinion on this match because UNC is a really interesting team, right? They haven't found any wins, but they've also managed to play at least up to a decent level against most of the teams that they're playing against. What was that experience like playing against them?
I mean, it's good. They're always a fun team to play. You know, we enjoy going back and forth with them. We just get out there, play speedy, have fun, and do what we can. You know, it's always a good time.
All right, it got a little close. How are you feeling on that third game when UNC took a lead? Do you feel like you had to step on the gas anymore? Do you feel like you had to use your mechanics more so against UNC, or were you able to rely on that solid team play that we saw at you earlier?
It was really just once we went down and we knew we didn't want to lose a game because then Tennessee Tech would be above us in our group. So we just really said, all right, guys, let's focus up and pull this, make sure we pull this through and don't drop a game here or else, you know, we'll be behind Tennessee Tech, and second is not something we tend to like to be.
Hey, that's the right mindset. That's what I want to hear heading into playoff weekend. And now I'll hit on that just a little bit, right? You're heading into playoff weekend, a little bit of a shaky final day, but you do get confidence in on the final game. So is there any real mindset, or is there any statement that you want to make before we head into what is likely to be one of the most difficult matches, or one of the most difficult weekends of matches that you guys could have?
I just want to say we've been grinding hard and we're ready to go out there and show them what we're capable of. You know, try to play the best of our abilities, do what we can, and just really get out there, have a good time, and put our best foot forward.
Hey, we hope we can see the absolute best from you guys. Good luck in your playoff run, and I hope to be able to see you guys later. Thank you so much for popping in for an interview, though. We'll catch you later.
Thank you so much.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will be heading off into our final match of the night. We have Western Kentucky taking on Tennessee Tech. Now, this is a little bit interesting, right? Tennessee Tech looking to pick up as many wins as possible heading into this weekend, but Western Kentucky have a really good opportunity for revenge. When Tennessee Tech beat University of Kentucky earlier, they locked up that second seed. However, Western Kentucky was vying for that. They were counting on University of Kentucky to win if they wanted their chance at it. And so now, after having been locked out by the team they're about to face, Western Kentucky, this is a bit of a grudge match for them, isn't it, Gus?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's not only just a grudge match, but it's also very valuable for Tennessee Tech, period. Tennessee Tech needs to win 3-0. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Tennessee Tech, if they want to have that leverage over University of Kentucky going into playoffs in terms of stats and just in terms of placements, they're going to need to get themselves a 3-0 here over Western Kentucky University. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if that actually happens, however, because we do need to set up that next game. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned. My name is Upmine, joined here by Door, and we'll be right back with the fourth game of this group. welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to our broadcast. My name is UpMine, joined here by my man, Door. And up next for our final game of this group is going to be Western Kentucky University versus Tennessee Tech. Door, what are the implications for this match? What's the tea, sir?
I mean, we talked about it during the break. This is revenge for Western Kentucky. Tennessee Tech, they've already locked up their playoff spot by beating out University of Kentucky. Now Western Kentucky needs to go and show what University of Kentucky couldn't, right? Tennessee Tech wasn't expected to win that matchup, but they did, and now all of a sudden Western Kentucky's playoff hopes are just gone. Now they have an opportunity to ruin the seeding here of Tennessee Tech, and that's going to be their #1 opportunity. They want this game. It's a grudge match, and you know what? They're going to come out swinging even if they can't make playoffs.
Absolutely, my man. So let's see what kind of splash that they can make, because again, Tennessee Tech, off of just off the back of one of the biggest W's that we've seen, thus far, just from this team. And I mean, even Sergey's, he was pretty excited about being able to take such a statement win in this league, and not just a statement win, but in such a fashion. And there he is. Speak of the devil, able to get himself a big goal off of a clear from Crispy.
What a shot here from Western Kentucky, coming up big. That is an air dribble from coast to coast, man. Who was that taking the shot, actually? I'm curious. Was it Sergey's? Pardon me. He corrected us during the interview.
Yes, sir.
Dude, Serge is going coast to coast. Big stuff from that man, but Western Kentucky definitely not out of the woods yet. I know Tennessee Tech has a lot up their sleeves.
Here we go again. Ball. Just approaching up that blue side, but here comes Chiggy on a run into Gigawatt. Back to Chiggy, but Chiggy couldn't get that last shot in. That one last tap that would have given them an insane goal. And still in the lead here. It's Tennessee Tech, and they're on a counterattack. Crispy sending it forward. Surges. See, we should have asked him earlier, especially because we were in Is Surges?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Surges.
Bingo. You got it.
Bingo. See, I assumed before because because there's Sergey, right? That is like a Slavic, a Russian way to say it. But then, just the way that it's spelled, it would be Surges. So you know what? Props to Surges. But here we go again. 1:46 left in our game, and that's gonna be a second goal for Tennessee Tech.
Quality stuff from him, and goodness gracious, man. They are flying around left and right. They are looking for a team to beat right now, aren't they?
Yeah. Tough indeed, my friend. And I mean, Door, I don't know about you, man, but this one is looking even more cut and dry than the last game that we were looking at.
So far it is, and you know what? Tennessee Tech, they've shown up big every single game tonight. They're playing so well, and I'd like to see them not playing down. They're not slowing down at all just because another team. And not to mention, Western Kentucky, they come out with the interesting cars, right? I see you running. Oh my god. It's hard to watch the Scarab move around, but you know what? He's using it nonetheless. These chunky cars make the game a little bit fun to watch.
The chunky boy cars, although even though they might be some weirder looking cars, they actually do have the same hitboxes as the Octane, so it's not really, it's more cosmetic than anything.
Yeah,
either you look like an absolute fool, or you look like a professional using the Octane, but the result is still the same.
I mean, don't leave out the Batmobile. The Dominus gets to see a little bit of use. We see Surges on a Dominus.
There's that. I don't mind the Batmobile, but I do mind the Scare. That's an out there pick that you don't exactly see too much, and it's not too appealing on the eyes. And I think they even realized that they chose intentionally, off-colored parts and whatnot.
Are you telling me the pizza wheels aren't aesthetically appeasing?
I thought you were really about to make it like a real bad pun there, and oh man, appeasing. Oh door,
No.
oh door, oh
That's
door.
low-hanging fruit. I ain't going for that, Gus. You know me better than that.
I expect the
Come
unexpected,
on.
my friend.
Fair, fair. I mean, Quithro playing with this card is certainly unexpected for one, but it's not really netted them much in the way of goals. 3-0 for Tennessee Tech in this first game. Look and make it 4. Surges actually has been on top of it today. He's making a great name for himself in this match.
That's not just this match in a sense, because I mean that is his second goal. Him and Chris Bay both stepping up with 2 apiece, and overall, I mean, you had really every participant from this team have an incredible 3 games back in our other set. So I mean, you could honestly call it a showcase of really all of these players. You know, a quote-unquote breakout from Surges might just be soon, but let's see what actually happens in our game number 2 though, because Western Kentucky University, they might be collecting that momentum back.
Looks like they're starting to build it, but getting those 3 goals in a singular game is a real tall task. We're gonna have to see some Herculean efforts from them. Good defense though by Quinthro. And that's what we talked about actually earlier. Quinthro playing a lot of defense, not really wanting to rotate aggressively, but he's gonna need to if Western Kentucky want to score these goals, pardon me, and they're going to. 2-4. They're starting to claw back into this one, aren't they, Gus?
Yes, sir, they are. And I mean, claw, yes, they can. It's 40 seconds left, so there surely is that time to work with. But yeah, Tennessee Tech isn't exactly a team to give up a lead like this. So I mean, I literally said this before, but expect the unexpected. Who knows?
Well, certainly not us, but 30 seconds left, 2 goals is not the most insane thing I've seen in Rocket League, but it's definitely going to be one of the tougher feats to achieve here as we hit the 25-second mark. Western Kentucky applying a lot of pressure. Shot had, not going to be had in the goal though. Sergey comes in big with the save. Now, looking to try and find a counterattack and solidify that lead. Our Tennessee Tech, Chris Bay's got the cross in. We didn't play it down, but a good touch by Gigawatt. Touches the ball out. A little bit of possession here for Western Kentucky, but they need to score before that timer hits 0. And Chris Bay has other plans. Shot rattles off the bar, but nothing to be found. Tennessee Tech are going to be this game 1.
Yes, sir. So Tennessee Tech just trying to, like I mentioned before, trying to solidify their spot in this group. But not only that, Door, we might have an update on our next group coming up very soon, and it doesn't seem like Tennessee Tech's is kind of their effort here. It's not going to go off into the wind. It might be the second bang that we have for this entire group stage.
You know, the next group is a little bit interesting, right? We've seen a little bit of a change up in tonight's schedule, but
That little
I don't
change
think
up.
yeah, a small change up. But I don't think we're going to see much change within this match in particular. Tennessee Tech don't look like they're trying to play slow at all. Western Kentucky slowly figuring it out and still searching for a bit of revenge. Taking even a game off of Tennessee Tech really puts a knock into them, and I think it's not too late for Western Kentucky to continue to adapt and try and do that.
Yeah, presumably there should be a little bit more time in their hands, but yeah, I really don't know. Tennessee Tech, if they gave up only a singular game, pretty much all the momentum is just gonna kind of fall off of their backs, and they're not exactly gonna care all too much about this set, because like I mentioned before, Dor, just this situation alone, a singular game being taken by Western Kentucky University would be it for Tennessee Tech's chances of getting up that first seed. So, don't really know if they're going to have too much of a will, but all I know for sure is that these next 2 games is going to be absolutely entertaining. I'm very excited for it.
I would be too. And you know what? It's always nice to get to some good collegiate Rocket League here at EGF. The car's getting mixed up even more here for Western Kentucky in game 2. We're seeing the Jurassic Park Jeep come out, and that's how you know things are getting a little bit spicy for them. They're having a good bit of fun, and honestly, I'd love to hear their comms. You know what? That's one of my favorite parts about seeing these collegiate Rocket League games. You know, I've talked about it before, but these players love to have a good bit of fun, and you know what? There's a few teams that do it really well, and I'd love to add Western Kentucky to that list.
Surges again, sending it over to the other side. There's a little bit of an opportunity for a counterattack. And oh my, big pinch from Payrod. And almost a last shot from Crispy. And you still have Surges. Ooh, even trying to pinch it off the floor, off his wall. Payrod off the backboard. Crispy trying to knock it on in again, but no. A minute 30 left, and we actually get a counterattack here from Western Kentucky University. Chiggy trying to knock it on in, but it's not going to work out in his favor. Payrod from behind, taps it forward, stuffs out with throw ball, still dangerously close to that goal, but we actually saw a demo a little bit earlier over to mid, so that's going to shut down the momentum.
Now, Western Kentucky, they're really struggling to work out of their own half, it seems. That midfield has not seen nearly enough pressure, but Quinthro, oh my goodness! Is that going to go in? The pinch off his teammate has had Western Kentucky make a goal out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, in a sense. But in reality, that was Tennessee Tech going pretty nuts with their rotations over to the midfield. Weren't exactly paying attention to at least where their teammates were even at. Didn't seem like communication was all the way there. So I think at that point they just kind of assumed one of their teammates is going to be over to the back, when in reality they were all up in the offensive line. So I mean, here we go again, a double commit save over towards the goal. Crispy almost being the hero there. Chiggy still has 0 boost, and he's just trying to get something, but halfway through our game, Western Kentucky University in the lead.
Tech, though, not unfamiliar with this position. They had a rough time before against University of Kentucky, and now their Western counterpart here looking to make their own mark on this stage. And Quinthro with another shot. Tennessee Tech repeatedly commit 3 players to the attack and are going to continually get punished for it.
Yeah, it's exactly what I mentioned before, Dora. That rotation doesn't exactly seem to be too focused on that midfield or the defensive side. So I mean, Dora, I'm gonna ask you here. I mean, what exactly is Tennessee Tech doing wrong? Is it really just the rotations?
It is very clearly just the rotations. I mean, their ball control, their mechanics are all on point, but they're just playing way too cocky. Look at Payrod, nearly gets caught out again here on the defense. This has to be fixed.
Big shot from Gigawatt. That's going to be cleared out by Surges. Chiggy playing it on forward. A minute 45. We might see that spark from Western Kentucky University that we were pretty much, or at least Tennessee Tech, they were dreading. But what is this counterattack? Surges going to be able to pass it on to Crispy, and bottom left corner. That shot's going to go right on in, and yeah, no, we more or less see the same weird transition there from Western Kentucky University as this time Tennessee Tech, they're going to be the ones capitalizing.
I mean, you absolutely cannot count out Tennessee Tech at any point in this match, right? They're going to be able to come back. They're going to be able to score goals regardless of what you do here if you're Western Kentucky. It's all about making sure those shots don't go in, because there will be shots. That's almost a guarantee up against Tennessee Tech. But punishing that over-aggression, making that goal lead even better, all different ways. But Surges is on a dribble. He's going up the wall here, and he's got plans of his own. Though Tennessee Tech found the shot. There it is. Crispy puts in the second here, and they're gonna even up the scoreline. It's getting real close, Gus.
Oh, it's getting real close, my friend. I mean, it's as close as you can get. We're tied up 2-2, and Western Kentucky University, they had the momentum in their hands, but you could kind of chalk it off to a stroke of luck, or you could call it off to Tennessee Tech not exactly being woken up, but just like myself, my friend, after a big nap in the afternoon, they get woken up and now they're ready and raring to go. And now Quinthro, oh my God, what a save! It was so close for one last tap from Tennessee Tech. And you still have an attack over to the back lines from Gigawatt. Gigawatt trying to cover, but it's going to be a 50-50 going towards the side of Tennessee Tech. That ball is dribbling in, but it's going to hit the top left post. And still, counterattack from Quinthro being started out by Gigawatt. Wait. Oh! Crispy! Shutting it down in the back lines. And that, again, that is just incredibly unfortunate, but a great setup from Payrod, and Crispy getting yet another steal right after that. That's going to be Tennessee Tech back to their old form.
Now, Tennessee Tech, they just need to hold on to this lead. Oh boy, Payrod has a shot, 14 seconds on the clock, and it's ticking down here for Western Kentucky. 9, 8, so you guys, little bit of a tricky dribble in front of the goal, but good, another opportunity for himself. No fake out, but he doesn't need it. 3 seconds on the clock, and that ball is going to be touching. Tennessee Tech steal away the game. 3-2.
All right, so, okay, a close one for Tennessee Tech, and this one isn't exactly over. I don't think Western Kentucky University is going to be able to depend on sort of the mistakes that we saw from this this Tennessee Tech side from that game 1, but or from that game 2. But they certainly have at least a little bit momentum going towards their side, more than before.
Now, Crispy, is he...
Might be changing cars.
Oh, he's changing cars.
Yeah, that's a Door, you know this. It's all the time, dummy.
All right, we'll see. All right, are we taking bets on what car he's swapping to? Do you have any clue? What do you think he's bringing out?
Wait, who was he playing? What car was he playing before?
They were playing Octanes on the Tennessee Tech side.
Oh my God.
Nothing special.
I can't tell you. I mean, this has been more. There's been a lot of BM choices.
Nope, no car. He doesn't car change.
Huh?
He stays the same.
Might have been.
All right.
Okay.
Wonder what he was doing.
Okay, sure. Well, that's not an Octane, my friend. First of all.
No, but they've been running some standard cars, I'll say.
Right,
Nothing too special. Nothing like the side of Western Kentucky.
Oh yeah, no, that's still very much a standard car, but yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Kentucky is done playing. They've at least relieved one of their meme cars from duty, returning back to those dutiful Octanes. However, the Jurassic Park car will remain. I'd say steadfast, holding its position well, but Gus, you know more than anybody how important it can be to have confidence. And you know what? Nothing screams confidence like that.
well, here's the thing, my friend. There are so many things in Rocket League that could just exude confidence, and that is simply one of them. You know, just a little bit of a card difference, and maybe even your play style changes up with it. You get cocky, you get cool, you start hitting your shots, and
Gus, I hear having the cards on stream is pretty cool.
Cards are cool.
Yep, being able to see them also very cool.
I don't know. Seeing some cooler cars, some off-colored cars. I don't know. We've been talking about a minute on different cars that aren't exactly Octanes, but you know, maybe we should get off that topic for now, as our game still is going on, and it's not much to talk about either. 1:30 in, and it's just been a slugfest. The ball's going back and forth towards the field.
And again, Tennessee Tech seemingly having a good bit of possession so far, but Western Kentucky doing a pretty good job of finding a couple counterattacks here and there. It's just been hard for them to really hold the ball in the opponent's half. And it's usually the other way around. We see difficulty holding possession in a half, or in the opponent, or in your own half rather, building it out. But for Western Kentucky, it's really been the opposite. It's been holding on to it in the future.
Yeah, this is a weird one, your Door, because we haven't seen any feasible opportunities just yet. No creations just yet. I mean, that was a pretty good start. Crispy over to the midfield. The ball gets sent out over to the center, but simply Crispy wasn't ready to go off the boost. So this is kind of where just slobber knocker type Rocket League comes into play, where you just put balls towards the center and hopefully it ends up going in net, and that's exactly what happens. Payrod gets a pass over to the middle. Surges, he's ready on it. You got some weird rotations going up towards the goal there from the orange side, but it still works.
Gus,
it's gonna be a one.
Gus, I'm gonna be blunt with you, right? I tried to give you a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge earlier. Change the scene on the stream.
Gotcha.
All right. Now that we're on clear terms, the viewers can see Tennessee Tech has a 1-0 lead. It took them a little bit to get there, but you know what? They get there eventually. That's how all of these games have actually felt. It's been Tennessee Tech having the possession the majority of the time, but finding the goal has actually been a little bit tricky for them. It's been individual plays. We saw a great shot from Surges actually be able to net them one, tucks it into the near corner. But now Western Kentucky, even the score up with a blast of a counterattack, 1-1. And all of a sudden, we're back where we've been a lot of the times before in this series.
Door, and in my, I would like to say 3 years of at-home production, I don't think I've ever made this mistake before. So I do have to apologize. That is on me. But Door, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I
you're like,
appreciate
yeah, I
you
want to
being
see the cars. Like, no, Gus. Oh my God.
See, here's the thing. Also, it's a mixture of like you being more quiet on my end, but that's on me. We're talking about production, but now that we're finally backing at it, I've set everything up. Back into our action as now Western Kentucky University actually up in front in terms of goals. That's a 2-1 scoreline.
And 2-1 is honestly ridiculous here for Western, right? Every single time they get one, it seems another follows. But the last time we were at the scoreline, Tennessee Tech managed to come back by 2 goals to even it up and take the game in the last minute. And Western Kentucky need to be more consistent, not letting things like that happen, because that is a disaster. You are asking for trouble if you're letting goals in at that 1 minute mark. That's when you want to be able to lock things up. That's when you want to be able to play a little defense, but they haven't been able to so far. I want to see them score a 3rd goal. Either keep up the aggression and score, or put on those breaks and play some really solid defense. But Western Kentucky hasn't been able to do either of those yet, so this game definitely not locked up.
Certainly not locked up just yet. I mean, we saw Tennessee Tech get a 1 minute 2-goal comeback just in our last game, and they know the stakes. They want to keep things even in this last one, and I wanted to say earlier on in the game, but the viewers couldn't actually see it, so we're just gonna have to like radio broadcast it. Yes, earlier on in our game, it was a little bit more dominant towards Tennessee Tech. What I mean by that is that Tennessee Tech, they were keeping the ball on that blue side. No actual opportunities coming in from Western Kentucky University. Good rotations towards the midfield. There was a little bit of a change of pace for this squad. And Door, would you look at that, my friend? A singular man up in the front lines, and what was that angle?
Angle? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. He's a surgeon with it. Finds the one bit of that goal that is even open. That's even visible from that side. Coming off the wall from that point is not easy as well. Really great stuff from these Tennessee Tech players. And it's good to know they can step up when they really need to here. 10 seconds left in the game, though. We might see our first overtime of this game. Oh, I say
oh, no! Door. I think that just might...
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
That has to be... No, that's textbook curse.
It was Payrod, I swear.
Oh my God! Yes, it was. Yes, it was. The strike from Payrod at the end. Oh, not exactly just yet. I don't want to say it, but ladies and gentlemen, for yet another time, we're gonna have yet another last-second opportunity from one of these squads. Shaky tries to knock it in towards the goal, but that is it. Tennessee Tech. They take the game, and through technical difficulties and weird goals here and there, we actually do get a W in the hands of Tennessee Tech. Door, I appreciate you coming in there, buddy. I appreciate the honesty.
Look.
I needed it. You came in clutch, and well, Tennessee Tech, 2 games in a row they came in clutch.
It's the school of streaming hard knocks here, but for Tennessee Tech, they've shown they can play from ahead. They've shown they can play from behind. They've shown us a lot of fantastic things coming into this weekend. We'll get one last interview lined up for you guys with one of these players, and then we'll be sending it off for the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back to the stream. Yes, I did end up changing the scenes at the right time. Door, are you proud of me? Yay or nay?
I'm so proud of you. Gus. You're doing such an infinite improvement from not being able to see the game to being able to see the game.
Well, I mean,
a big step up. And I feel like the real winners here are the audience having been able to see the second half of the game.
Of course. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't seem like we're actually going to have an interview here from Tennessee Tech. I mean, there was already a player on the team that had an interview earlier. So, I mean, they've already said their fighting words. They're already moving on into playoffs. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to leave it off with a little bit of a goodbye, as there are not going to be any more games on stream today. Believe it or not, there were 2 forfeits in tonight's second group. So, for the EGF Collegiate Power Series group stage, that is over. And, ladies and gentlemen, I can actually run you guys through what teams have actually made it through. So let's see here. I have a list. So there is, and this is not in order: RIT, UT Arlington, Mizzou, University of New Mexico, Marquette, University of Delaware, Washington State, Northeastern, Syracuse, Georgia Tech, University of Kentucky, Florida State University, Seton Hall University, Tennessee Tech, DePaul University, UConn, USC, Xavier University, San Jose State University, and Marist College. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been quite the night, to say the absolute least. And Dor, we were talking about power rankings a little bit earlier on, so this seems to be a little bit of a point of debate. Who do you think is going to be the number 1 seed going into playoffs?
I mean, as far as EGF pedigree, there's 2 obvious picks there, right? UT Arlington and RIT have a lot of history here. And RIT came into this power series. We interviewed them at the beginning, and they said they're tired of being that 3rd place spot. And you know what? I believe them. They have shown up. They have demolished every single team in their path. They were already, in my opinion, the best mechanical team here at EGF. They have gotten even better. Their team play has evolved to another level. We are seeing aerial pass plays constantly from them that are consistently ending in goals. The only bit of doubt I have for that team is their ability to finish off shots. But honestly, if they keep putting shots like that on goal, they're bound to go in eventually. It's been quality stuff from them. UT Arlington, always going to be a consistent team, though. It's really hard to doubt the ability. Their team play and rotations really keep them alive, although I'm a little bit worried. They were always that consistent number 1. Like, nobody could really step up to them. But I think RIT is really going to be a big contender for that this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And at least in my opinion, we did see, of course, UT Arlington go at it in this season. And I gotta argue against you there. Of course, RIT, they do deserve to be in that top 2. But in my opinion, UT Arlington, they've had just in terms of Rocket League in general, not just EGF, because yes, they did end up going down, but they ended up going down to a CRL, a big CRL contender, and UT Arlington themselves being an invitee to that most recent CRL Spring Showdown. They ended the season at 5-1, all of their games being completely dominant, other than the one game that they ended up taking against Mizzou, which, if I'm not mistaken, it was either a 3-2 or a 3-1. And ladies and gentlemen, just overall, the difficulty of the group, the difficulty of their last couple of months, their results in their last couple of months. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about EGF broadcast. We're talking about EGF play. How could we not talk about the fact that UT Arlington are the most recent champions in EGFC? So I firmly believe that UT Arlington should be that number 1, but of course RIT could be in there. Again, the power rankings will be released very soon, ladies and gentlemen, and of course playoffs are going to start tomorrow, so please stay tuned here to the official EGF Twitch channel where we will have, Dor, if I'm not mistaken, one half of our action starting tomorrow.
Absolutely,
and there's not just one stream, there's 2 streams.
There's a ton of Rocket League to be played here. It is all going to be starting at, let me try and find the time real quick, at 4:30 p.m. EST. You won't want to miss all the action going down. It'll be here on official EGF and I believe official EGF 2. Is that correct?
official EGF2, correct. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, tune into both of our Twitch channels, official EGF and official EGF number 2. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for our broadcast. My name is Upmind. You can follow me on Twitter at Upmind_. You can follow Door at Door_casts. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are not done plugging EGF just yet, as EGF has a big project coming up next week in partnership with Perfect Game for an MLB The Show 20 open bracket tournament. So if you guys do want to participate in a tournament hosted by myself, San Francisco Giants baseball player Hunter Pence, Darren Sutton, and ladies and gentlemen, of course, Perfect Game and EGF, please register at perfectgame.org/esports, and that action will be starting off next week here on the EGF channel. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great one and enjoy this trailer from that tournament.
We can't get out yet, so let's play at home. Compete, battle, focus, have some fun, like we do when we're on the field. Perfect Game and EGF have teamed up to bring to you an MLB The Show 20 tournament. Register here and now. I'm fired up to host you. Heck, I might even join in on some of the games. Join Darren Sutton and I weekly for live streams and recaps. We've put together some incredible prizes. So get out there, let's compete, and let's have some fun.
Gone! It's a grand slam!